I don't know who said it, but someone said C, when it comes to programming language, C makes it easy to hit yourself in the foot. C++ makes it harder, but when you do it, blows your whole leg off. I think, what was it? Was I forgot the creator of C's name. I think it was him who said it. But it is exactly like that. You have an extremely powerful tool in the palm of your hands, but it's powerful and it will, if you give it a wide range of things to learn from, it'll learn from it. So be careful with what you feed into the LLM, or what you, in this case, what data sets and context you expose to Q developer.
Mm.
Make sure it's only reading from what you want it to learn from, and it'll give you exactly what you want it to give you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And how do you compare Amazon Q versus SAST? I mean, if we want to use, and by SAST, I mean static application security testing tools. Can we use Amazon Q instead of our SaaS? And what are the benefits? What are the limitations? What are the risks?
I would say the benefit or the main comparisons, like off the top of the head, is definitely in more Q would do more immediate feedback with more code generation suggestions, whereas traditional SaaS tools like I don't know, SonarQube, would provide a more in-depth, comprehensive analysis after the code's written. Q is great for rapid development, rapid prototyping, get something ready, get something minimally viable product, and then you would rely on SaaS to get that minimally viable product to a more production ready application.
But
I mean, but when I'm talking about like finding vulnerabilities, like if we use Q for finding vulnerabilities, would
Oh,
you,
okay.
yeah.
Sorry, I would say Q is great for um, in terms of actual finding vulnerabilities. I would say Q is a great as an assistant. It's able to scan on common vulnerabilities. Um, you can have it suggest secure coding patterns, highlight potential vulnerabilities after the fact, and that's more real. I should say not after the fact. Sorry, during the fact, and that's more real-time resource compared to SAST, which typically analyzes code for any possible vulnerabilities post-development.
yeah, it's an interesting one, right? Because I think to me the biggest advantage is that like a lot of the traditional SaaS tools out there are rules based, right? Like SemGraph, this, that, Vercode, they're all rules based. And rules only gets you so far. Like, yeah, you do the research, you find that pattern, that if that pattern is identified in that, code base, then that could be a potential vulnerability. But the big advantage that I see with AI here is that it's not rules based. Like it's trained, and if it's trained well on a large and good enough data set, then to me, it's going to be able to find security issues better than a rules-based scanner. The analogy that I always think about is, going back and looking at antivirus tools. Back in the 90s, when I started, antivirus tools were all rules-based, right? And a lot of them still use signatures, but then, the people that were writing the viruses, they figured out, hey, we're going to write polymorphic viruses. Now the signature changes. So using rules or signature matching doesn't work. You have to go to heuristics and other ways of detecting patterns and going, hey, this looks like it could be a virus rather than rules based, right? So using something like Q that leverages AI, if it's doing that, then that could be hugely advantageous as long as the model is trained well, which I don't really know.
It's better than seeing 19 pop-ups for potential virus or potential threat. What was that one? I think it was My Doom. That was the big one. I think that was the year I was born. I'll be honest. I think that was
Yeah.
96. That was the big one. That very much, I don't know if it influenced the industry, but it was a big influence in terms of the actual products for antivirus itself to go
Right.
more less rule-based, more go with the flow. Like, hey, things are going to come up. You gotta predict, like, hey, that's not normal. Even if it's not traditional ML, it specifically says this is what's normal, this is what they're doing. That's not normal. Block.
Exactly.